It is February the 7th, 2021. I'm Andy, and this is the Minorcan Mullet Report from the Golden Ray Rec site. Listen, you're going to have to grab your PFD, snug it on tight, jump on board, grab a camera. We've got a lot to cover today. When we got out to the site, no cutting was going on. Looks like the west side or inshore block was down on the deck of the VB 10,000. The offshore block was slack. Chain still looked like it may be going through the existing cut that was had been started. We didn't really see any activity on the VB working around the block. We could see the block on the deck, but we didn't see anybody working on it. Maybe waiting on parts. Not sure. Not really sure what's going on. Do we have a block failure? Is this a chain mechanism that's failed? We're not sure, but cutting was not going on while we were out there. They looked like they had a little bit of work to do on the deck. So we continued to make it on around. We saw personnel up on top of the gantry, or on the walkway of the gantry, in the area of the offshore block. We noticed that while we were there as we made the round. And then really things just really got kind of crazy. First of all, there were 4 cranes today at the site. All of them seemed to be involved in some sort of activity. When we got around to the south side, the monitor tugs that we've seen cleaning the environmental barrier, one of those vessels had the environmental barrier in tow from the south gate. The south gate had been opened up, and there was a lot of stuff going on in there. We're going to try to break it down for you as best we can, and so this is how it goes. Here we see the tug with the environmental barrier kind of in tow, and it's pulling it back against the current and kind of holding it there in place. And then once we got around to the bow, we noticed that there was a barge that was pushed up to the bow of the Golden Ray, and on that barge was the tractor that we have seen over at what we believe is going to be the auto processing area at the port. The tractor with the grapple was on this barge. It had been put on this barge and had been brought out to the site. And the only thing we can figure when we see this going on is that the intention is to start pulling cars out of the hull at the site. It's just, we just can't understand why they would put that machine on a barge and bring it out to the site unless that was the intention. That said, we didn't see a hopper barge or anything like that out there, but we did see this machine, and we got a couple close-ups of that particular piece of equipment on the barge. Also noticed a new tug that was out at the site today. The first time that we had seen this tug, and it was pushing the what appeared to be that there it is, that blue long arm grapple machine that we were thinking it was going to be used in the processing part of the auto salvage area that they've cleared. And also on board was an aerial lift. The green piece there just below it, that's a personnel aerial lift that is on the barge as well. We're trying to figure out what this might be used for, and the only thing we can come up with is that they're going to be pulling some of these wrecked vehicles off of the Golden Ray. So while we're there, looking around, we see all kinds of activity going on with tugboats, cranes. We see tugboats pulling barges back in to the site from the Port of Brunswick. Some of those were looked like materials were being moved back and forth onto other barges. Over at the Weeks 533, we saw this activity going on. Just a lot of stuff happening at the site with no cutting going on. I don't know. This is all kind of new to us to see this much activity going on right in the middle of the actual cutting operation. While all this other activity is going on as well, we did see the dive boat. Mr. Ed was alongside the hull again at the number 2 chain site. We've seen the dive boat there for the past few days. It was there again today. Sounded like they had dive operations underway there as well. Just work site was just bustling with activity. Here we see one of the cranes. It looks like it was involved in reattaching the environmental barrier to the other set of pilings at the south gate. So the barge and the grapple equipment and things that they brought in there, it looks like they're intending on leaving those inside the environmental barrier for at least a little while. We're going to be in a kind of a wait and see mode and kind of see what happens here. And here we saw at the Weeks 533 crane barge, it looked like the crane had up a section of cutting chain, picking it up off of a supply barge that had come in and was putting it on its deck. So, maybe the system is down because of a broken chain. We shall see. And then the last thing we wanted to report is we saw the Master Tyler. That's one of the contract trawlers that is working the site, was back out on anchor. The trawl rigs were still on the deck of the boat. They had not been deployed out to the end of the outriggers, but it was there, and it's the first time that we've seen it out since they were testing that oil boom system, the oil boom recovery system off of that vessel some time ago. Hey, we hope we didn't bore you guys too bad today with this report. There was a lot of stuff to cover. But hey, if you're still here, how about hitting that subscribe button for us? Send us some comments. Most of all, we want you guys to stay safe.